Hello everyone, and welcome back to our videos all about expanding the love in your life, and in the process not just bringing more love into your life, which is the greatest thing ever, but also expanding your manifesting magic, being able to be more of a creator of your days because you're so inspired and you feel so good and everything feels like it's very creative instead of moving through the day hoping for good things to happen. When you're in love, or when you're in love with the day, which is the same thing as being in love, when you're in that state of love, everything becomes easier. It's easier to manifest things. It's easier to make things happen. Below, you'll find a link to videos that can help you. It's free, amazing videos. These are my favorite videos of the year. I know I always say that, but these really are really amazing rituals. So beautiful. I'm so excited about them to help you to sweep away everything that isn't love from your space and multiply your love magnetism and your manifesting magic. It's the introduction to the love camp, and it is awesome, and I really hope that you can see them. So below you can find them, and let me know how it goes when you do them. Now, let's talk about today and something that you can do right now if you have a little piece of rose quartz. So rose quartz is an interesting crystal because it has developed a reputation of being this love crystal. And in fact, it is a crystal that resonates with, according to the stories, according to crystal experts, and according to the stories that have been ascribed to this stone and people working with it and healing, that is all about enhancing self-love. It's all about enhancing your energetic container, like the aura around you, the energy field around you. And it's all about forgiveness, self-forgiveness, creating space in your heart, creating space in your life where you felt like you've had grudges or you've been hard on yourself. And as a consequence of letting go of that stuff, of expanding your self-love, you will become more magnetic to love and all good things. Now, just a little note on that, the word self-love is used often. Love yourself, self-love, self-love. And if you asked me if I love myself a few years ago, I would say, of course I do. I totally love myself. I love myself, I love myself, I love myself. And then I started to look at things popping up in my life that weren't a reflection of how much I loved myself. I was becoming exhausted. I was not really focused. I was filling my mind with all kinds of information I didn't need. I had people in my life where I had no boundaries with them, and it was becoming really draining. And I started to see, wait a second, it's not a foregone conclusion that I love myself all the time. I really need to look at this. And one of the things that I grabbed was some rose quartz in the process. That isn't all I did. Obviously, when you want to enhance self-love in your life, really take a look at where your energy is going, and then you can start making decisions bit by bit, not all at once overnight, bit by bit. Don't stress yourself out with self-help and self-change and self-growth. Just little bits by bits. Start seeing where you can bring more self-love into your life. And this is a fun one. So any little piece of rose quartz will work to make a rose quartz elixir. Now, this is more of an essence. Sometimes people say crystal elixirs have to do with ground up crystals being put into a solution and using it in a certain way. This essence, this elixir, whatever you want to call it, helps to harness the energy of rose quartz and multiply it. So you don't need to have, as much as I love the way they look, giant amounts of crystal. This is the biggest rose quartz that I have, and I just think it's so beautiful, and I've always loved it, and I carry it sometimes with me to photo shoots and when I'm traveling. It's really heavy though. I love it so much to have it around. I hold it and it feels really good. You don't need a piece like this. You actually need a little piece, just a little tiny piece of rose quartz. Any size will do, anything that feels good to you. And when you make an essence, make an elixir, make a water, make a bath with crystals, what you're doing is multiplying their energy without having to have lots of crystals. So to me, this is the ultimate in efficiency, the ultimate in ease, and it's also a really, really powerful little ritual. So to start with, anytime you're working with a crystal and intention, the best thing to do, and I'm going to do this while I'm doing this with you, I'm going to light a match, and I'm going to use some Palo Santo today. For those of you who've never used Palo Santo, don't worry about it. That match didn't work. I'm using some Palo Santo today, but you can use sage. You can also, and we're talking about clearing the crystal. You can use sage. You can use Palo Santo, as I'm attempting to do right now. You can use the earth. You can actually put your crystals outside on a lawn or outside in a garden. Outside in a pot of plants. You can put them outside, and as you do, set the intention that they are recharging themselves. You can put them out in the full moon, you can put them out in a new moon if that feels good to you, and let them really dispel any energies that they've picked up that don't belong. So whenever I'm using something that I'm burning, like for instance sage or Palo Santo, I like to hold the stone in the smoke. You probably can't see the smoke, but there actually is smoke now. Hold the stone in the smoke and imagine anything that doesn't belong that the crystal has picked up, just leaving the stone. Your imagination is very powerful to move energy. It's actually moving energy. Okay, so once you feel like the stone's very clear, which is a very important step, because this is about being crystal clear with your intentions. Then take your stone and set an intention for love in your life. Do you need to be easier on yourself? Do you need to forgive yourself? Do you need to forgive someone else? Do you need to trust that you can be more open-hearted? Do you need to create stronger boundaries in your life? Whatever it might be, just hold the stone and you can almost imagine your intention moving through your hands and into the stone. And you can even see it moving inside the crystal in your mind's eye. And so take some time to do this. I'm not going to do this in full. I would take a little bit more time and sort of meditate with the stone and really see the intention, drop into the stone. And when I'm ready, this beautiful little piece of rose quartz, I just take some filtered water. So this is just regular filtered water. You can use spring water, whatever water you'd like to use, and that's clean and clear. I wouldn't use straight tap water. Filtered water is always better. If you have no choice but to use tap water, so be it. Let's set the intention that the stone will clear the water. And here you go. You're going to take the stone, you're going to drop it. I'm going to do this as gently as possible so it doesn't splash everywhere. Drop it inside your jar, your glass. I like to use glass for this. I like to use either a glass bowl or a glass mason jar is always awesome. And then I seal the jar, or I put a lid on the bowl, whichever one I'm using. So seal the jar, and let's pretend I've sealed it, and you put this outside for a full cycle of day and night. So you want to make sure it gets the essence of sunlight and the essence of moonlight. It doesn't need to be basking directly in the sun and directly in the moon, but a full cycle of at least 24 hours. Let it sit, and you can do this for a full moon, you could do this for a new moon, and you can even leave it longer if you feel like they need a little bit more time. That's fine too. Trust your intuition. Now, when you're ready, you can open this up, and very carefully you can pour some of the liquid into one of these. If you have a little dropper bottle, you can pour it into one of these, and you could put drops of this essence, because this essence is now infused with your intention and the rose quartz energy. So it's become the energy of rose quartz. So you multiplied the rose quartz in the essence. So now you can put this in a dropper. And some people use a preservative. I only do this with rose quartz and clear quartz, where I'll put it in a dropper bottle and I will actually take drops of it, a few drops, usually 3-4 drops at a time throughout the day, to reinforce my intention. It's literally just water with the energy of the crystal in it. Some crystals it is not safe to do this with. I only recommend absolutely pure and sure that it's absolutely pure rose quartz or clear quartz if you're thinking of drinking the water or you're thinking of taking drops of the water. Some people use a preservative like brandy to preserve these essences. I find that I use them so quickly, it's not really necessary, and it's water. I don't really know that it needs to be preserved that much. Some people say it helps to hold the energy more, to put the alcohol like brandy into the essence. Again, I use it really quickly. I don't really notice the difference. For me, it's the ritual. It's the ritual of grabbing it and doing it. Now, if you don't want to take these essences, I don't blame you. And again, I'm not a doctor, and big disclaimer, please look up the stones that you are using and make sure it's safe. It has to be safe for you to take these things. I would not take anything without checking with your medical professionals, finding out every single detail about it. I'm telling you what I do and what I love. But there are so many other ways to use this that don't involve taking the essence, but I had to share this with you because I think it's awesome. So you can also use this to clean your house. You could put some of this in a mopping solution. You could put some of this, even just a few drops, or you can literally I pour some of this into the solution that I use to mop. I pour some of this into my cleaning spray that I make with vinegar and water and essential oils. I pour some of this into my baths, and sometimes I also put the crystals into my bath as well. Now, when you take baths with crystals, it's amazing, and I think it's incredible, but it's not necessarily as potent as using the water that has been energetically imprinted for a full moon cycle or a full sun and moon cycle for a full 24 hours or more. This is really, you can imagine, it's like steeping a tea bag. It becomes more and more and more amplified and complete. But I do also love the ritual of putting rose quartz, I often use this guy, in my bathtub as well. And I'll usually add some of this. But when I put the actual stone in my bathtub, then I'll hold it on my heart, or I'll hold it in my hands and meditate for a few minutes. And again, simple ritual to multiply all of that love magnetic energy. Some people say you can even sleep with a rose quartz, obviously a little one, not a big one like this, under your pillow. And in doing that, it helps you to have deeper sleep. I don't put them under my pillow because I'm a sleeper that will throw the pillows all over the place sometimes. So I make sure that I have rose quartz on my nightstands, and that creates a lot of feeling of balance for me. It's a lot of love magnetism. So there is your essence of the day. Have fun making it. Let me know what happens if you try it. And again, make sure you sign up below for the free Love Camp intro videos, this ritual, this hour of rituals for your bedroom, for your whole home, for your energy, for your life. So exciting. I hope you're going to love them. I think you're going to love them. People have loved them. But again, my intention is to multiply the love and share it. So have fun with those. Any questions, leave them below, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.